Now here to present one of the FAA's most prestigious awards, please help me welcome Bob Jex, the FAA Safety Team Program Manager from the Orlando FSDO.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bill. And thank you to the entire AEA team for this amazing convention in the happiest city on earth. What a week it's going to be. Good morning. I'm Bob Jex, FAASTeam Program Manager at the Orlando FSDO. It's my distinct pleasure to join you this morning to bestow the FAA's highest honor on one of AEA's own. Before we announce that distinguished award, I'd like to share some history for those who may not know the magnitude of Charles Taylor's contributions to aviation history. Charles Edward Taylor was an American inventor, mechanic, and machinist. He built the first aircraft engine used by the Wright brothers in the Wright Flyer and was a vital contributor of mechanical skills and pure genius to the building and maintaining of the early Wright engines and airplanes. Initially, Taylor was hired to fix bicycles for the Wright brothers, but increasingly took over the management of the bicycle business as the brothers spent more time on their aeronautical pursuits in Dayton and in Kitty Hawk. By 1902, they trusted him enough to run their shop in their absence while they went to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, to fly their gliders. When it became clear that the off-the-shelf engine with the required power-to-weight ratio was not available in the U.S. for their first engine-driven flyer, the Wrights turned to Taylor for the job. He designed and built the aluminum-copper, water-cooled, four-cylinder aircraft engine in only 6 weeks from scratch, using only a couple of rough sketches provided by the Wrights. Taylor went to work and became the lead mechanic in the Wright Company when it was formed in 1909. The rest, as they say, is history. Charles Taylor was the first airplane mechanic. Following Taylor's footsteps are thousands of dedicated professionals whose mechanic certificates to this day feature his image. In fact, there are 3,296 master mechanics and 7,724 master pilots recognized by the FAA as of today. The Charles Taylor Master Mechanic Award is the most prestigious award the FAA confers to persons certificated under Title 65 of Title 14 Code of Federal Regulations, Part 65. This recognizes individuals who have exhibited exemplary aviation expertise, distinguished professionalism, steadfast commitment for at least 50 years or more of aviation maintenance experience. To be eligible for the award, you must have 50 years in the aviation maintenance profession as an accredited mechanic or repairman and be an FAA certificated mechanic or repairman for a minimum of at least 30 of those 50 years. The other 20 can be military aviation maintenance experience. Your maintenance history plus 3 letters of recommendation from fellow mechanics attesting to your maintenance or repairman experience are also required. Nearly everyone here in the room today knows Ric Peri. For those who don't know him yet, or for those who want to know him just a little bit better today, this story is for you every bit as much as it is for Rick and his family. And today we will confer upon him the highest award the FAA issues to mechanics. Rick started turning wrenches in April 1972 as a helicopter mechanic at Sheppard Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, Texas, training with the Sheppard Technical Training Center. He worked primarily on Air Force UH-1N Hueys, performing airframe and engine maintenance. In 1975, Ric made an inter-service transfer and joined the U.S. Coast Guard. He attended Engine Mechanic A School in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Upon completion of A School, Ric was assigned to serve in North Bend, Oregon, and Ellington Field, Houston, Texas, as an engine and airframe mechanic working on the HH-52 helicopter, the Coast Guard equivalent of the Sikorsky S-62. In 1978, Ric was assigned as a C-130 mechanic working on engine and propeller maintenance and supporting airframe maintenance. It was about this time that Ric bought a Cessna 172 Skyhawk and began learning how to maintain and restore it under the supervision of fellow mechanics. He still owns this aircraft, by the way, and is conducting its second restoration. Good for you, Ric. By now, he was earning a reputation for integrity in the shop and served collateral duties as a quality inspector on the Coast Guard's C-130, HU-25 Falcon jet, and HH-3F helicopter. And in 1986, Ric earned his mechanic certificate with A&P ratings and began moonlighting at local airports in the Clearwater and Port St. Richie, Florida area as a general aviation aircraft mechanic. Ric naturally earned his private pilot certificate in March of 1987. We want to see you back here in 2037, sir. In 1990, Ric earned inspection authorization with what is now the Tampa FSDO. Ric was next assigned to a posting with the Coast Guard headquarters in Washington, D.C., where he was responsible for supporting industrial safety and environmental management of the Coast Guard's entire spread of aviation maintenance. In 1994, he began serving as the maintenance manager under contract with the Navy Flying Club at Tipton Army Airfield at Lee Airport in Maryland, maintaining the club's aircraft, including converting 2 Beech T-34s into D-45 Bonanzas. While in headquarters tour with the Coast Guard, Ric was the subject matter expert on aircraft maintenance policy, especially for composite repairs on the HH-65 Dolphin, the Coast Guard's designation for the Aerospatiale SA-366 helicopter, serving here until his retirement from the service in 1998. Significantly, in terms of the work he was destined to perform years in the future, Ric brought together numerous agencies, both civilian and governmental, to develop EPA-compliant aircraft painting protocols. This work included major inputs to the FAA's advisory circular on selecting chemical agents and processes for depainting of aircraft and aviation products. Upon his Coast Guard retirement in 1998, Ric was appointed Director of Maintenance at the National Air Transportation Association, or NATA. About the same time, Ric also began his involvement with what is now the FAA Safety Team, assisting several FSDOs with their IA and repair station training programs. Serving in his NATA role until 2001, Ric participated in the development of aircraft maintenance regulations, guidance, and policy while focusing NATA membership on regulatory compliance, especially Parts 143, 145, and 135. Since 2001, Ric has served in his present position as the Vice President for Government and Industry Affairs with the Aircraft Electronics Association, AEA, where he continues to develop aircraft maintenance regulatory frameworks and keeping AEA membership focused on regulatory compliance. AEA has grown to include nearly 1,300 companies, including repair stations, avionics equipment manufacturers, distributors, engineers, and educational institutions in 42 countries. Ric has authored over 250 published articles in industry trade journals on aircraft maintenance and regulations. Ric was recommended for the Taylor Award by Jerry Crowley, Ronald Gatewood, Michael Mertens, and my old boss, Max McConnell. Ric was consistently cited for his many years of expertise, trustworthiness, and a common sense approach to aviation maintenance. And in a nutshell, That's what this award is all about. Ric is accompanied today by his wife Liz and his daughter Stephanie. Escorting them to the stage, Max McConnell. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the administrator, please join me in recognizing Ric Peri as America's newest Charles Taylor Master Mechanic. Congratulations. You know, the FAA doesn't give away very much, but we like to do something special on this, a day of days for Ric. We brought a few goodies. One of them is Ric's blue ribbon package. This is a complete documentation collection of all of his airman certification documents. Also, the official Master Mechanic Certificate, signed by the administrator. The Taylor Award is also recognized long after today with these distinctive Charles Taylor Master Mechanic pins. They're about the size of a nickel, very distinctive. Any Master Mechanic or Master Pilot will know exactly what they are. And finally, the pièce de résistance, this beautiful plaque issued by a third-party vendor suitable for framing on the I Love Me wall. I'd like to read it to you publicly for the first time. 50 years of dedicated service in aviation safety, the Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration, the Charles Taylor Master Mechanic Award presented to Ric Peri, August 2022, which is when he became eligible, in recognition of your 50 years of exemplary aviation maintenance experience, distinguished professionalism, and steadfast commitment to aviation safety. And it's inscribed by a likeness of the autograph of Charles Taylor. Anybody in this room would want one of these, and I'm very proud to present it on behalf of the administrator to Ric Peri.
You know, for those of you who have seen me in front of a podium for 21 years now, I think this is probably the hardest I've ever had to deal with. You know, love shoveling coal, hate being running the engine here. Max, thank you very much. You and the team here, I appreciate it. Mike, obviously, you know, AEA has been my family for the last 21 years, and I think Paula may be around here somewhere. Whatever convinced her that I was the right person for the job. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for her, so I do thank her as well. But I think, you know, all of us, because this is really what we do. You know, Charles Taylor saw aviation from the Wright Flyer to the jet age. In my career, in my 50 years, I've started with round motors. I went through, you know, INS, Loran, all of the systems, you know, sextants, still had sextants in the airplanes. And, you know, and today, you know, we've got electric propulsion, we've got autonomous flight, and we have artificial intelligence. It has been a great 50 years. and I'm looking forward to the next 50. So not sure which award we get then, but by God, we're going to work for it. So thank you very much.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 66th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Orlando, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors: